Here we are. We are on the air again today.
Glad to be with y'all.
I am so happy. Oh man, we are getting a few more folks in, and Ted, we are getting some folks out there who don't like what we are doing. They talking crap, man. I had to delete their comments.
God bless them.
It was you can tell there was some of them right wing fools. The
God bless
MAGA
them.
people. The MAGA people are looking. Oh man.
Well, God bless them, man. That's what I say. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Every tongue that come against us shall be condemned. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, these people, the one thing they do, they have a game of intimidation or try to intimidate people or try to discourage people or whatever. But you know what? We living in the best of times, Ed. These people don't know it, that we living in the best of times. We got a president that's overseas right now, and he's telling everybody that the United States is the greatest place in the world, and y'all come over there and just invest and come over there. We want every country in the world to come over and invest in America. But piss on you, American people. We don't give a shit about you, American people.
He doesn't. He doesn't. He
You poor
doesn't.
people out there that's on food stamps, I don't give a shit. You
And
people that's losing your homes through
uh,
floods, I don't give a shit.
and the reality of this thing is that he's telling these people this bull crap, and they looking at him and knowing that he's telling a lie. They
And here's
know
here's here's
he's
here's the thing:
lying.
we got soldiers infiltrating these cities, and we got Jamaica, one of our partners, supposed to be ally and everything. That's where a lot of Americans go and have a nice vacation, and they getting troubled. I ain't heard not one word that we's flying helicopters over there to help the Caribbeans and all that. No, I ain't heard nothing.
Those ships, those battleships, are over there just to mess with Venezuela. That's it. That's it. It's not to help nobody. It's to destroy.
If the American people do not realize that this man don't give a shit about the American people and their conditions, you know, as far as he's concerned, this is free willing now. Anybody that's got an idea to start a business, this is the time to do it because he talking. They even they even talking about getting rid of the IRS. They not already put that out there. Now the interest rate went down 20.25 basis points, but the bottom line is that the reason why he's doing it is because these banks is begging him to do it because all these doggone cockroaches is getting all the loans. You know what the
Well,
cockroaches are?
yep, I know. But I'm surprised that Jerome Powell. I think he's feeling the pressure. Those board of governors are feeling the pressure, and he's applying a lot of pressure on them because I know if he hadn't been messing with them, that interest rate reduction probably would never happen. But because he's doing what he's doing, they
Well,
just
to
went
help
ahead
with
on and lowered
inflation,
it.
man. The goal was 2%, and he knows it's way over 3%. And then he talking about employment. Come on, bro. You know doggone well these companies is laying off hundreds of thousands of people. And talking about, well, we don't have the actual data of the unemployment right now, but we don't see any difference. They hope it's holding steady. You a lie, man. You know damn well it ain't holding steady. I'm gonna tell you, man, we can't believe shit. But hey, everything is wonderful. All the businesses doing well. We reached 48,000 in the stock market. Broke a record. It went back down, but it reached 48,000. Hey, Nvidia has reached $5 trillion. 5 trillion. It was a big deal when a company went 1 trillion. Now we got a company that's worth 5 trillion.
Well,
Come on, bro.
I wouldn't buy an inch of that stock right now. Anybody out there in the stock market, you talking about buying anything out there, I would leave that alone because that stuff is way overvalued. It's coming down, buddy. It's coming down because there's a they haven't told the whole truth about what's going on. Trump did. He sat down there. That knucklehead sat down there in front of the South Koreans and told them that he knows how to raise the stock market. He said all I got to do is give him some good news, and the stock market will go up. His word, the stock market goes up. And then he said when he wants to come back down, he just give him bad news. There is no financial reason for it to go up. It's just because Trump said, I'm going to give out good news and the stock market going up. And all the good news he's giving out is a bunch of lies. Japan said, we ain't giving y'all a dime. They want $550 billion deposited into our accounts over here in the United States, and we control it. They must have thought Japan was some damn fools. And it looked like Ted, at first, they were going to do this shit until some of the people back at home looked at them numbers and the agreement and shit and said, we ain't going for this mess. Well, the new prime minister said, we closing out all these deals, so the United States ain't got a dime from them. Then he goes to South Korea, and because Japan told him to kiss they butt, they ain't give him a dime. South Korea said, we ain't giving you that $350 billion. And we ain't investing no more money over there, you guys in plants, until you all straighten this mess out where these people won't get locked up when they come over there and get chained up. Until y'all do that, we ain't gonna invest a quarter in you all's economy. So Lutnick
But hey,
mad,
we're doing so well.
yeah, Lutnick mad, Bessick mad, and Trump
We're
sitting
doing
down
so
there,
well.
and Trump sitting down there hollering and stuff and everything. Yeah, you ain't gonna do this. We're gonna raise you all tariffs up. I mean, he just, we gonna raise y'all tariffs. And the South Koreans said, go ahead. We're going to find somebody else to trade with.
You know, the thing is that, the one thing, I'm going to pat him on the back for this. He is a good salesman. He can sell and he lies. He's just a good used car salesman who know how to lie. Like if you go into a used car dealership and they tell you this car is the best thing on the lot, and
Yes,
you
sir.
and you take that sucker out, and 3 weeks later, doggone motor broke or the transmission go out or something.
Transmission go out. It
And so
everything.
so he has sold the American people a bill of goods that he knows what he's doing, and he's destroying this country in certain ways. Now, the thing is that I totally agree with a lot of some of the stuff he said. Some of the people from the left, they too socialist. You know, I mean, where are the companies and helping American people? Now, that's one thing Joe Biden was trying to do is open up new businesses for the American people so that they can start business. A lot of new businesses were started under Joe Biden. However, it takes money, and that money has to be released so that people can grow and build their businesses. And the number one business is small businesses. Those retail stores, those stores that's creating little products that people can buy. But it takes money, so you have to invest in these people. Small business. They're not on the Nasdaq. They're not on the stock market. Those people, they get their money from communities, surrounding communities and where they in their city. And that's what makes America great. These small businesses. But you got to keep these Rudy Poots out of there. You got to. These police officers, instead of harassing people, you're supposed to be serving and protecting and making sure that these little Rudy Poots don't be breaking into their thing, because who can afford that? You put your supply up in a 20 by 20 or 50 by 50 store, and you got all your products in there, and they go in there and steal everything out of there. But this is what makes this country great is small businesses. The 100 employee business, the 200 employee business, the 25 or the 10 and all of that. And that's what makes this country great. It ain't about all these big manufacturing. The manufacturing is okay and that's good, and they might employ 25,000 people. But the point is, what really makes this country is that hot dog stand on the corner, those restaurants, and that what makes community. But what is he doing? What is he doing? Destroying people's freedom about so they can't even walk around without getting harassed.
Well, when you take your tax breaks and give it to the billionaires and tell people like Reagan did, they the job creators, you telling them the folks a lie. You have to put the money in the job creators' pockets. If you don't put the money in the job creators, the real job creators' pockets, it's not going to happen. Because the
No.
billionaires ain't going to do anything. Old Jeff Bezos, he's worth what? 300 billion dollars right now. But they done gave him a tax break, and guess what he done done? Laid off 16,000 people.
Yep.
He's a job creator. He just laid off 16,000 people, Donald. But he's a job creator. That don't add up. They giving all these corporations all these breaks. UPS just laid off what 32,000 people. They the job creators. We gonna open our eyes one day and realize that these people lying to us. That the job creators ain't where they say they are. The job creators is the folks down there, like you said, who the mom and pop stores and all the little businesses and stuff inside these little bitty towns and stuff and everything or whatever. They the job creators. Now you can help them a little bit and everything by putting these big large corporations and stuff inside these towns, and then they will employ the people there inside the town, and then they will buy the goods and services and stuff and everything from these small businesses. But we don't have enough big corporations and stuff that we can put in almost every town in this country, so we just have to put the money into the folks' hands who's going to serve the biggest pie. Oh,
Well, the thing is, a lot of these corporations, they have their own lobbyists for their benefit, as far as different kinds of things that they're trying to get done, like getting overseas products and that kind of thing, or getting labor, cheaper labor. They're doing all kinds of things for the benefit of their corporations, individual, because it's all about competition now. Don't get it twisted. These major corporations are trying to outdo the ones that have the same sector. They're trying to knock each other off competitively. So the point is the same thing with the small businesses. If you got 20 restaurants in one town, and they all want people to come to their restaurant. So it's competition. So the point is that, but the people, you look at that major corporation over there might be employing 10,000 people, but all the restaurants and the retail stores and all of that, they're employing 100,000 people. And then those 25,000 people come over and use their money to buy in those small businesses. But, you know, I don't know. I think America right now, everybody should have a business because right now the tax rate is low. Now, according to him, now if you're in the right category of a business, probably you're gonna probably have to have not an LLC, but you're gonna have to have a regular, business, corporation, corporate, an S corp or something like that, where you can get those tax write-offs. Because according to him, you can write those tax write-offs for 10 years, all of it. There ain't no stipulation. You can't write this off. You can write this off. You can't write all of it. So I think the American people. The thing is, here's the thing. This is what I think is. This might be kind of boring to a lot of people, but in my opinion, get yourself some partners, form a limited liability partnership or something similar to that, and then start opening up businesses. Get you about 10 or 15 or 10 people, start a corporation, and then and open up a business. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, these people, these major corporations, they don't need you no more. The regular working people, they don't need you no more. They got AI, they got automation. But this is where the Chamber of Commerce come in at. The Chamber of Commerce got to do their job as far as figuring out how many types of businesses they have, and they need to have meetings in their community as figuring out how, you have a tire service, or you have an auto service, or you have a pizza shop, or you have a hot dog shop, or whatever. This is where Chamber of Commerce come in at, and they start organizing these businesses, and those people that's looking to start businesses, those are the people that they need to be recruiting, because this is how you keep the American going and working. Are they gonna make $15, $20 an hour? I doubt it. But the point is that that's what creates jobs. So anyway, I'm off my soapbox.
Ah!
I'm just saying, start a business, people. Start a business. I don't care
most
what
of,
it is.
most of the folks, Ted, are afraid to start a business right now. For just the reason that you started out the whole daggone thing saying, where are you going to get that capital from? They need that capital.
And
We can
don't
start a
and
business.
whatever you do, don't buy it from the cockroaches. Don't
Yeah,
get it
we
from the
don't. Yeah,
cockroaches.
you need that. You need that capital, folks. You got to have some place where that capital's coming in, and the federal government is not providing that capital for you. I can guarantee you that. So you're gonna have to
No,
look it up. You got to look
no.
at other places. You're gonna have to
Well,
look
that's
at
what
other
I'm saying.
places.
And the banks, now they just like I said, that 25 basis points is going to help as far as for these banks to loan out more money. But you got to go through red tape to
I
get a
mean,
loan.
a whole lot of red tape, and
Because
you
they
better
don't,
have
that's just
and
like getting a
and
mortgage.
and
How
your
long you
credit
had this
rating
business?
and
Blah blah
and
blah
your
blah
credit
blah.
rating better be 700 or 750. You better have a 750 FICO score.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, but the thing is, that like you said yesterday, we gonna make it through.
We're
And the
gonna make
thing
this
is
through.
that there are a lot of communities, they ain't even paying no attention to this knucklehead. There's a lot of communities not even paying attention to him. They just living their life the best they can. The thing is, what he did was irritating. Is that when he started putting these ICE people out there, and then he got these military people. But a lot of these people are not even paying no attention to this man because they know he a Looney Tune. They know he don't know what he's doing. He don't care about the poor people. You know, you know. Not only do he don't care about the poor people, he don't even talk about people things. So all he talk about, well, the American people is going to do the best. They're going to do real well because we just cut all their taxes. Well, Dad, you got to make money
Yeah, and you got to have a job.
Thank you.
You got to have a job. You laying people off. You got to have a
He just
job.
looking
Laying
through
folks
eyes
off.
through his
You're
own
laying
self,
people off.
Ed.
You're laying people off. You're cutting down these jobs and stuff and everything, and you expect everything to be okay. I
He
give you a
look
tax
at it.
break.
He look at it through his own mirror. His mirror is that his whole life basically had employees. Now, whether they were happy or not, but he still got a bunch of employees, and he work at these hotels and he work at his golf course and all that, and that's the way he look at it in that vein, you know, and he try to pay those employees as less as possible. So that's the way he's looking at it. He's looking at it in his own. He ain't looking at these other people, the education that these people are not getting adequate education. He's not looking at it. He ain't looking at all of that. He say, hey, he don't care. He don't care. So we'll see. I don't know if you saw some of the Democratic Party. They was talking about the situation and what it is, and they standing ten toes down here.
So
10 toes
far,
down.
so far, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but so far, uh, one of the shows and stuff that they had yesterday, the day before yet, with Mr. Richard Steele or whatever his name is, his show with girlfriend Simone and the white lady and stuff. They had Jackie Rousing on, Senator Jackie Rousing on, and they were asking her that they were supposed to be having a vote there in the Senate to see what who Republicans and stuff were going to vote for this and everything. They were trying to have a vote to open up and make Trump release those funds and everything for the SNAP people. And she put up I guess some kind of way she put up a proposal out for a vote and everything to force him to release those funds and stuff so people can have the SNAP money. And this way they were going to be able to find out what Republicans and stuff and everything out there who were going to vote against people out there to have the SNAP money because they know that there were a lot of almost 40% of the recipients we finding out who get SNAP are children.
Yep.
So she wanted to see. Well, they put the vote out there last night, and I guess the damn thing passed. But they still can't do anything because the House has to pass it. And MAGA Mike sent all the House folks home. And then had nerve enough to get on national television and say, the Democrats ain't doing nothing. We doing all the work. But they at home. He left them
What's
go
such
home.
hey, such a good Christian man. He is such a good Christian man. He thought, man, you know, I'm gonna tell you, we read our Bible, we have our Bible study, and blah blah blah. I'm gonna tell you, I guess if you the Speaker of the House, it's a big deal because you next in line if anything happened to the president and the vice president.
Right.
So he feels as though he's got a lot of power. So that power has gotten him such a big head that he's willing to not tell the whole truth. He'll tell half the truth. Now, yeah, those funds that the Democrats are requesting is not only for the recipients that usually get Medicaid, but also to support those hospitals who accept in emergencies so that they won't go out of business when they bring people in there that they get reimbursed because there's a whole lot of people that's uninsured
But
that are
Ted,
Americans and they go into emergency.
But Ted, Mike said that's not true. He said what they Democrats want to do is let the illegal immigrants, illegals, get health coverage. He said that. He keeps saying that. Democrats want us to give these illegals health care. they
Yeah,
they try to give all these illegal immigrants health care. They want them to have health care. And we're not gonna let them do that. But some of the people out there, like you said, are getting just a little bit smarter and realizing that the illegals can't get Medicaid. they don't.
they can't
They
get
can't get no
Medicaid.
Medicaid. They don't
They
get no
can't
Medicaid.
get
They
food
don't, Medi-
stamps.
they don't get no Social Security.
They
They
don't get no Social Security,
don't get
but
nothing.
yet
They don't
still
get
they working
anything.
and paying taxes.
But they do have a kind of a teeny bit of an out now because they can go to the hospital and they will patch them up and send them on their way.
Well, hey, if you go to Canada, Canada do the same thing.
Yep, they got it. And
If you go
Canada
to
got,
Europe, if you
yep, they
go
got
to
to say,
Europe and you're not a citizen, they'll do the same thing.
yep. So that's their out because our system of medicine and stuff says that you have to treat people and stuff. You can't let somebody just die. And if they come to your door, the Hippocratic Oath says you got to bring them in and patch them up, but you don't have they ain't getting no hospital room. They're just gonna get patched up. If they got a bullet wound in them, then they're gonna pull a bullet out of them, patch them up. It's all right. Go home. Put them in a taxi cab, even though they still may be having internal bleeding or whatever. They don't care. Put him in a taxi cab and send him home. But we did pull a bullet out of him.
Well, I mean, let's face it, bro. With all the regulations in the hospitals, think about this. And I've been in the hospital a few times, and when you go in there, man, it must be 65 degrees in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you know the expense of keeping your whole building that low? How much the electricity they spend in a month?
Mm-hmm.
Then they have all kinds of people, hundreds of people, making sure that that place is spotless, clean.
Clean. Absolutely.
Got to be clean because germs everywhere can be everywhere.
Yep.
So it's expensive for even a clinic or a hospital to be in operation when you got a bunch of sick people laying in these beds and walking around.
Absolutely.
So
And don't be surprised. And we've been talking about this for many, many, many years. For if you got an aspirin, it might be $15.
yeah,
Like $15 for that aspirin, and you
that's
can
right.
go. I can buy a whole bottle of it for $15, but they gonna charge me $15 because they gonna say, "Well, we got to buy the aspirin, we got to pay the nurse to dispense it, we got to do this for, we got to do that for, we got to do this for and that for." So that's why it's $15.
And they have to cover their ass too because they got to do vitals damn near every hour, every other hour.
Yep. So we
Because they
got to.
don't know if you might end up having a stroke or a heart attack or whatever. So if they know that your blood is good, they know that they done took your blood pressure, they know that they done took your temperature. Because at any time when you in that emergency room or whatever, anytime something can go down. So they be cautious of that, and that costs money.
It does cost money, and evidently we're hearing from an expert people and stuff. Ted just got out of the hospital about a year ago, I guess, so he ought to know.
Yeah, it was less than that. But I'm just saying, man, when you've been in the hospital a few times, you say, damn, you got to take my blood pressure every time you look around. I'm
Every
getting a
time
blood
I
pressure
turn
check.
around, you gotta take
I'm
it,
getting
and then
my vitals checked. But
and
that
then they'll
costs
wake
money.
you, and then they come in there at night. You be asleep. Oh,
You
we
be
got to get
sleeping,
you
wake
up.
you up. I got to take your blood. I got to take
Yeah,
your blood. They got
you gotta
to take
take
a
your
tube
blood
of
pressure. You
blood.
gotta do. You gotta do that. I was like, oh man, wait a minute. But
I
what you
say,
gonna
what
do
y'all
with
doing?
it?
I asked them. I say, I asked the nurse. I say, do I have special blood? Because every time you look around, y'all taking a tube of blood from me.
You got to, I'm gonna have to sell my blood here. Y'all gonna have to start paying me for my blood. I'm a blood donor. Get a quart of blood. How much you charge?
Y'all making money off of me?
Yeah, yeah, damn right. I'm gonna make some money off of y'all.
I'm serious, bro. This
Oh
stuff is
man,
expensive, man. It's
man, it's a
expensive, and kudos to the doctors. You know, the doctors spend um, many hundreds of thousands of dollars to get their degree, and
absolutely.
all that time studying, and a lot of times these people don't even appreciate the doctors.
Yeah,
They don't even appreciate the doctors, bro. They don't appreciate the nurses. They spend 50% of their time studying and keeping up with all the different procedures and things that they got to do.
now they don't. They most of the doctors when I go there or one of my family members in the hospital, they don't like me because they got a bad habit of sending a doctor in there. And he just look at you, and then next thing you know, you got a bill for $500 or
That's true.
$600.
That's true.
He go, he just, oh, okay, and sign his name on the chart. He got $500 coming.
Yeah. Stick his
So
head in there for a
when
minute.
they walk through the door, the first thing I ask them, "Who are you? What are you here for? And how much they gonna pay you?" And he look at me like I'm crazy. What do you mean, sir? I say, hey, if you if I didn't if my doctor who I just saw didn't invite you here or say that you would come in, you might well walk out that door. Don't even put your name on the chart. Don't come here. And if your name is on our daggone bill, I'm gonna call up Medicare and say he didn't do nothing. Don't pay him a dime. It's Medicare fraud. Man, they bust
Now
out
that
that door
right there
quick.
part is true.
They bust out that door quick.
But Ed, this is the thing though. The thing is that, and I'm just talking from my own experience. This is the thing, like they want whatever the situation might be. It might be a kidney doctor. It might be a vascular doctor. It might be a sleep doctor. It might be whatever. You got all these doctors. And what they're trying to do is the medical system is what they're doing is they're covering their ass so that they don't get sued. They got to have all of these different kinds of doctors to make sure that everything is regulated so that they'll have a record of everything. Because if
Well,
anything goes down, if you leave that hospital and you have not been taken care of and they knew something else was wrong with you and they didn't check it, then they can get sued.
well, you're giving them too much credit nowadays,
All
Ted.
right, okay, all right.
You giving them too much credit. It's greed that's causing them fools not to do the stuff.
I agree. I mean, you
Greed
ain't
is
gonna get no.
driving them. Greed
I
is just
agree.
driving them.
But
Yeah,
but
but you're right. But you are right. Their insurance and stuff to be doctors, man, is almost ridiculous. None of us could pay their insurance premium because
oh
most of
yeah, they
them,
probably
most
paying
of them
five,
play.
10,000. Some of them probably five, six, $7,000 a month just for their insurance.
Oh no, they pay more than that.
Really?
Hell yeah. Some of them paying $500,000 a year, buddy, for their insurance. 500,000 a year for their insurance. Yes, sir. They started out at $250,000 and then upward, depending on who you are and how long you've been in practice. And if somebody has sued you already, if somebody has sued you, your insurance, the day insurance premium might be three-quarters of $1 billion a year, $1 million a year. That's how much they're charging them for it. To be a doctor, buddy, you get out of you pay all that money to go through school, and then when you get out of school, you're gonna make a lot of money, but they're gonna take a lot of money from you. So you better be out there, and that's a lot of times that's why them doctors coming in there and sign their name onto your chart and everything. They'll walk into the daggone thing, so and they look at the chart, see who your insurance folks is and stuff, and you got some good insurance, they coming to your door, buddy. Sign their name because they need that money to pay their health insurance. Because they're being sued. And these insurance companies and stuff saying, hey, these doctors are being sued constantly. Some of those doctors might at any one time might have 3 or 4 lawsuits against them. So the insurance company have to protect them. They have to get the attorneys, they got to get the lawyers and everything to fight them, and then they're gonna have to pay them and stuff and everything eventually if they win the case. And a lot of times they're gonna win something in that case if they suing that doctor. Any lawyer who's worth his salt going to get something out of a lawsuit. If he tells you we got a case, you're gonna get some money. It might take 2, 3 years to get it, but he's gonna get some money. You're gonna make a deal to cut that lawsuit out, or they'll make a deal not to keep on going because it's a headache for the insurance company to keep on going to court and having to fight them with their attorney. So they figure, hell, it's a start counting them beans. All right, they're asking for 2 million. We might give them $100,000. So that comes out of the insurance thing. And if you paying out that much, at least 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 people a year suing you, that's why they're charging them that kind of money.
Well, the thing that I look at though, because I've been to a number of doctors, eye doctors, kidney doctors, heart doctors, um, cancer doctors, all of that stuff. And the thing is that the system, because of all the complications and things of prolonging people's lives, it used to be, years ago, people, it wasn't really that in depth, as far as things go. Just wondering how in the world did we make it, you know. And here, I don't know what it's like over where you at, but here where I'm at, you talking about medical clinics and different kinds of specialists. I'm talking about, bruh, they must have at least 200 to 300 of those. And we got like 4 or 5 major big hospitals. I'm telling you. I mean, this right here is a money maker. And it could be a loser, but they constantly building all kinds. They got the bone specialists and all that because a lot of elderly people live in this area. A lot of retired elderly people live in this area. And and it's just like we got a place called Sun City, same thing. Whole bunch of medical clinics and hospitals. So it's really kind of a game, but the point is that poor people need to get health care too.
Mm-hmm.
Those people that can't afford it, those people that
Right.
um, haven't been eligible for Medicare, or those people work every day and they company that they work for can't afford to even give them insurance, so they have to be on ACA, Obamacare, if they want insurance,
Yep.
and they might not even be making enough money to even make it on for Obamacare, because my understanding that most of these people paying $150 to $300 a month
Yep.
for insurance. I
Right.
remember when I was working 40 years ago, 45 years ago, I would pay $40 every 2 weeks. That
Yep.
was for my whole family.
Yep.
For my whole family, bro. So so nowadays it has gotten just out of hand.
Way out of hand.
It's gotten out of hand.
Way out of hand.
And the thing is that it was a time, and you can correct me. I'm sort of kind of like reminiscing, but there were a bunch of doctors were hospitals and clinics were nonprofit. So a
Ted,
lot of these
you
people,
must be real old if you remember a non-for-profit hospital.
yeah, I think it
Ben-
was some that were
benevolent,
nonprofit.
benevolent venture. Most hospitals work. They had these nurses from these uh, all these different sectors and stuff of religion and stuff and everything. The Franciscans, the nurse, and the Catholic nurses and Catholic nuns and all that. They had their own hospital, and they were a benevolent society. They serviced people and stuff, and didn't charge them no $5,000 or $6,000 to come to the emergency room. Your bill might be $25.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, $25. It's twenty five
So the
dollars.
point is that to a certain degree, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that the doctors become doctors because for the money, but there are doctors that become doctors. They're smart enough to become doctors because they for the money. Like these people do plastic surgery for the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they know they're gonna make a lot of money. But then you got some plastic surgeons doing it because it's a service to help people that want to. They might have a defect. But what I'm saying is, though, majority of the doctors, in my opinion, you cannot be doing this stuff, man, and you doing it just for the money. You got to be doing it because you care about people. I might be wrong on that.
Well, in a way you are, in a way you're not. But the system is full of pitfalls, Ted. I can tell you, I done seen a whole lot of pitfalls. I done seen a lot of them. I mean, the system is just rigged to get as much money out of the patient as possible. As much money as possible. We can go to get your annual physical, and there's a certain set price that Medicare pays for an annual physical. And some of these doctors know that. So what they do is that they pad their bill and stuff with false statements. We have a 80-year-old patient individual coming in here, and we have to counsel them on senility. They might not even be senile, but because they're 80 years old, they don't know no better. So we counsel them on senility. or we had to look them over and make sure that they didn't have dementia or anything like that, or they have weak bones and everything. And so we had to check their bone structure and everything, make sure they okay. But they walked in there all right and everything. They just get a physical, so they just pad their bill, and they charge them so much for each one of those steps. And when you get your bill back, you look at that daggone thing and say, "Damn, it was shit. I had all this wrong with me."
But the days of we used to see those stories, and even in our case, I don't know, not so much my case when I was younger, but we had like supposedly had family doctors. Them days gone.
Well, you have to have a primary physician now. Most of the time, they're going to actually do you have a primary physician because you have to have them and stuff. At first you didn't, but you have to have them now because if you have to go to a specialist and stuff, these specialists do not accept you unless your primary physician has recommended you for their specialist. So
That's true. And
if you
for
have
those
ankle
people that
or
have
bad knee,
a primary, and usually that primary, like I had a doctor that I had, but he retired
right,
30 years,
right, you have a
and
primary
so
physician.
so now I got another primary, But the point is, what I'm saying is that there was a time where, these doctors in the neighborhood were right in the neighborhood, and they would be your family doctor, and you didn't even have to. It wasn't a requirement or called a primary doctor. That was just your family doctor, and therefore, when you got sick or something, you went to that family doctor, and he'll let you know if you
Right.
got flu or
And they
pneumonia
would
or
and they
whatever.
would recommend you to a specialist if something was wrong.
Right.
If you tell them, well, my hip be hurting all the time, they're gonna say, well, okay, I recommend you to go to a hip specialist. Or you walk in there and they check your heart and everything and find out you got a algorithm in there, or irregular heartbeat, then they're gonna say, well, maybe we need to send you to a heart specialist to find out what had going on. And they have to recommend you to go to a heart specialist, or you need a colonoscopy and stuff and everything. They'll tell you, well, you need to go to a colonoscopy doctor and everything. So I recommended you to go to a colonoscopy doctor.
And
So
and,
you
and,
have
and
to,
you know, and
yeah,
that right there is the MO in America. You have you have 150, 200 different specialists,
yep, or more,
and you might
or
have
more,
or more,
or more.
and then within those, you got another 25. That's those specialists that you have to see, or you have to choose between those specialists. Like if you need to go to a foot doctor, then they'll give you a list of 25, 30 people.
Hmm.
Then you choose one that you want to go to.
And most
But
people, the
the
older
point
you
is,
get,
what I'm trying to
the
make
more
here
doctors you
is
got.
that the point what I'm trying to make is that these people that are on SNAP, these people that are on Medicaid, now they already said 41 or 42 million people is on SNAP.
Hmm.
Now, when you listen to these calls on C-SPAN, and these people are calling in saying, I have a son or I have a daughter or two children that is on Medicaid and they get their medication at a discount. And if they don't get their medication, they're going to die.
Hmm. Yep.
Because herself, this woman, or probably her husband or whatever, they can't afford these high priced medications. These medications, some of these medications cost $1,000 a month.
Absolutely. Or more.
Yeah. So the thing is that we're talking about a system. Well, it works for these clinics and these hospitals, and they work it, and they've learned how to do the billing and all that stuff, and try to survive. However, the system itself, in a way, is broken because there's a lot of people that don't have insurance that are Americans.
Right.
I'm talking about working Americans. We're talking over 160 million people work, and then another 30, 40 million part time. And a lot of these people are walking around with no insurance.
Yep.
And
None.
the thing what President Obama was trying to do is trying to spread it out so it can be cheaper. The more people that get on ACA, the cheaper it gets
Cheaper
because,
it'll be because they're paying into that system.
right. And it would have been, instead of you paying 150, it might have been $50, $75 a month for your family.
Right. Right.
But a lot of, they put such a negative connotation on it and dogged it so much, a lot of people, oh, I ain't taking it, it's too expensive. Well, the reason why it's expensive is because your ass walking around with no insurance, and then when you get sick, you go to the emergency room. That's what he was trying to prevent. And then on top of that, with all the different benefits that this thing had with it, what made it so, because he made it so that these women that need to get their breast checked, that was basically free. The guys can get checked for other things and all that. All kinds of things were available for them where their annual physicals were free. You know, you would get two or three doctor visits a year or whatever for free. So all these things were included in that, bro. And so now you got these people trying to destroy it, but they ain't got nothing to replace it.
Nope.
These were for people that are working.
Mega Mike said we got a replacement for the Affordable Care Act. We got a replacement. But then when they ask him, what is the replacement? Well, we're going to talk about it. We'll
We
talk
got a
about it.
plan. We got a
We got a
plan.
plan. We're going to talk about this plan. But, you got to get us back. You got to release this shit now, and then we'll talk about it. You know damn well they ain't going to talk about it. And come January, everybody out there is
People.
going to be kicked off of the insurance because they can't
This is
afford to
what you
stay on it.
call misinformation, lying, you know, propaganda,
Lying to the American
and
people. Lie to the
to the
American
American
people.
people. Because when you
Just
come,
keep telling them a lie. And
yeah,
make it
keep telling
sound
them a
good.
lie.
Make it sound
And,
good.
and the
And I know
people,
what he do. He wakes up
yeah,
every morning, Ted. I bet you what he does is he wakes up every morning and he brushes his teeth and he looks in the mirror and says, "Now what lie am I gonna tell today?" and then he practices the lie. Well, this is what I'm gonna say. And he sits there with a straight face because he done practiced that lie and tell the audience, this is what's going on.
well, the thing is that medicine is it can help you or it can hurt you. It all depends, because there's all kinds of craziness out there. People do wrong procedures or misdiagnose or whatever. But the point is that you have a lot of people that's on the up and up that's really care about people and their health and try to make them better. However, there's also another side of that. There are people that's out there that do non-medicated healing. Then you got that fight. You got people that believe in herbs and they don't do medication. They believe in herbs and minerals and things to heal you. Different things. You got people that do acupuncture and all that. You got all of these different types of ways to keep people to be better and healthier. Now, are we a more healthier person? No, because you know why? Because we have allowed these drugs to inundate us, you know, and the drugs is the ones that's killing us. I mean, illegal or legal, you know. I mean, the point is that a lot of these medications are you got side effects. And then these drugs, that's addictive. So now the thing is, the American people is running around uh, like zombies. There are a lot of people that's walking around like zombies. They can't even think straight because they're walking around like zombies. Some of these people are taking pain pills because they don't want they need to go see a doctor, but they say, "Oh, I'm in pain." Who knows what's riddled in their body? We don't know, but they're taking pain pills, bro, because they got to keep it moving.
Well, that's their prerogative, Ted. This is a free world we living in. We living in a free country. And that's their prerogative. That's what they want to do. Because I've seen a whole lot of people say the same thing. I ain't going to no doctor. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm gonna take me this. I'm gonna take me that. Until one day they drop dead. Boom, boom.
Yeah, well, that's
You
what I'm
wonder,
saying.
and then you be asking, well, they was healthy, and then they was eating healthy food. Well, they had other stuff wrong with them that they need to have a professional to come in because most doctors, and we know this, they'll tell you that they are practicing medicine. He's a practicing physician. What's the magic word?
Practicing.
Practicing. Final word, kid.
Well, I know we I kind of geared you to a different lane here, But I'm trying to be positive and let these people know that the nuances of the medical field, and we don't know everything, and we don't protest to do that. But the point is that people need to appreciate what we have here in this country. It could be a lot better. We know that. However, the point is that you have to be engaged and realize that if you're fighting the system by not getting insurance and walking around just like these people are fighting the politicians by not voting. 90 million people did not vote. And then you figure another 90 million people don't have insurance. So something's wrong with this because these news people are not putting it out there. They're not telling the stories. These politicians are not doing the right things and telling the people that this is what's going on. And then they're sitting around here uh, getting a big fat check. And that's, hey, more power to them for that. Ain't nobody hating them on that. But what I'm saying is that they need to tell the American people the truth.
Well,
That's what I got to say.
they're not telling the American people the truth. So, folks, that's why we on the air, because we're gonna tell you the truth.
And like I said, if you put your mouth on us, you know what? You better watch it. I'm telling you. Don't put your mouth on us because you might end up, you don't know. Better be cool, bro. This ain't no game here. This is for real.
Oh yeah. And I'm still upset with them 90 some million people who didn't vote yet. We done,
Oh, please,
and I repeat
please.
again that my ancestors are turning over in the grave because they died so you can have a chance to vote, and you didn't. Especially my people. Anyway, folks, we see you tomorrow. Bye bye.